This is from Roll Cover. Shout out to bro. He been tapped in the past couple of weeks. I fuck with him. He cool people. What is the limit on wins for Dave Canales to retain his job?
We got to stop this shit, man. That's something that we have to stop as a fan base, as a Carolina Panthers organization. Bro, like, it's his first year. I don't think that he should be fired after his first. Now, if he doesn't win a game, then that's saying something different.
What if he wins two?
I mean, I don't think he should be fired after his first year. What are we going to do? Keep recycling through coaches?
I'm just.
I mean, I'm
just giving you context to add to your point. If you so choose.
And that's my answer. Like, are we just going to keep recycling through coaches? Like, I mean, you got to get the guy some time. It's not going to be peaches and cream the first year. And looking at it realistically, you might be looking at 5 wins max. Just being honest. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, I don't like the narrative. Just because we saw it happen last year with Frank Wright, I think that was a unique situation. I think the team grossly underperformed, and we saw a lack of fight and a lack of effort. Now, I think if you come out and you see another, I don't think it's a win thing so much as it is going to be how do the players respond to Canales' coaching? Do they come out and do they at least fight? Do they put up a fight? Are we seeing improvement? Are we seeing better schematic play? Like, are we just losing because it's a lack of talent? Or are we losing because it's a lack of effort? Last season, I felt like it was there was the deficiency in talent, but predominantly it was a lack of effort that cost the Panthers a lot of those games. Because as we came on here week after week, albeit we were losing, but we never really complained too much about the deficiency in rosters.
Play calling.
We complained about play calling, and we complained about effort, which is why we would get on BB so bad. So I think if you see another lack of effort and really poor decision-making, then he might get clipped after 1 year. But I don't really think there's a minimum that he has to hit this season, as so much so as it's a minimum level of development and effort that we have to see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any other context to add. I think that right now the expectation should be that he's on a 2.5-year tryout, because I think if you don't see any exponential growth in 2.5 years, then more than likely he's not one of those young guys that we've seen set the league on fire over the past couple years. So 2.5 years, I think, is a reasonable expectation. I don't believe that this year I think Dave Canales should be playing extremely free or coaching extremely free this season, because I don't believe he should be on the hot seat, given, for one, his track record. To me, his track record is a little bit better than Frank Reich's was. Now, I understand Frank Reich won a Super Bowl. That's cool. Dave Canales has one of those as well. And just based off of what we've seen him do with young quarterbacks, that we've seen completely rejuvenate and resurge their career, I think that just off of that, when you have a guy that's in year 2 in Bryce Young, that alone buys him bare minimum 1.5 years. The additional year, to me, is based on the fact that I do believe that we'll see an increase in effort, an increase in attention to detail, etc. However, if we don't, like Tavian just said, that's a problem. That's a problem. So then, to me, at that point, that 2.5 goes down to 1.5. Because if we see it this year, and then we see it 9 or 10 games throughout next season, and we're not winning football games, and we're not paying attention to detail, and we're, again, one of the more penalized teams in the NFL, and we're having jerk-off fucking circle jerk moments in our head heading into halftime, then that's when we have a problem. Like you guys said, the Frank Reich situation was a little bit different. Frank Reich, in my opinion, nobody wanted him to be a head coach in the NFL. He had been fired the previous year midway through the season, so that should have been extremely telling, and that should have given you all the information you needed. However, the same could be said for Dave Canales. He didn't get fired in the middle of the year last year, but nobody else offered him a job position either. Dave Canales had one head coaching opportunity in the NFL, and it came from the Carolina Panthers. So there's a couple of similarities in their situations. However, they are very, very different in my opinion. And I do believe that we should be looking at this thing at a 2.5, maybe even 3-year clip, just to be completely honest with you. But also a lot of that is going to be, contingent upon health. Because if J.C. Horn is not going to be available, your hands are in a very, very tough position. Because that defense, in my opinion, already looks suspect, to say the least.
I also think it's going to be contingent on Dave Tepper. I mean,
absolutely.
Is this the year that he takes a step back? Is this the year that he actually let the coach freely, as you mentioned? Like, I think a lot of it will be dependent on him and Nicole, obviously.
I don't think that he will. Because, I mean, I came in here probably about a month and a half ago and said that I saw him making improvements on taking a step back, and that quickly got debunked probably a week and a half after we heard Leggett saying that, he was, or I don't even know if it was X or somebody different, another receiver, but he was like, he had been in on every single 4 or 5 interviews and meetings that he had with the team. And Tavian's opinion was different.
Yeah, we didn't have. Well, I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, both of y'all's opinion was different. But to me, that's just doing too much. If you're gonna have football guys in the organization, let football guys be football guys, and you take the step back. And you sit in your box in your suite and just shut the fuck up and
that's
kiss
when you
your
end
wife.
up like the Atlanta Falcons owner arguing with your GM on draft night. Why the fuck did you just go out and draft a quarterback when I just gave this bitch $100 million fucking dollars?
Yeah,
that's when you end up with conversations like that. But what you should have said was, when you realized he didn't take a step back, was when he decided to walk his bitch ass in that restaurant and take the hat off of Bro's head for having a sign out there saying "Let the coach do his job." That's when he showed his hand, not sitting in on meetings.
I'll be 100% honest with you. This is gonna go kind of left. A nigga will never, ever, ever be able to take my... If it's not in a playing mood, nigga just comes in my restaurant, a nigga will never in life be able to just take my hat off of my head and think it's not going to be repercussions. I would have popped him right in his fucking mouth. I'm not going to lie. But that's just me. Yeah. And I understand everybody moves a little bit different. He had his muscle with him, billionaire, so I get it. Me personally, I would have popped him in his mouth. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I might have... What I say earlier is a fine. Never mind. Never mind. We'll save that.
Yeah, that was a wild statement.